1, 2, 3, 4.
What is happening, everyone? Welcome to the Mudblood podcast. This week we're sponsored by Manscaped. Manscaped, our old friends Manscaped. What can I say about Manscaped that we haven't already said? What is Manscaped? Manscaped is a device for you to shave your buttocks. It's a 5.0 right now, which has skin touch technology, which means you don't cut your buttocks as much, right? You still can, but not as much than any other razor. And also they give you a pack which can have boxer shorts in it, ball toner, ball deodorant, nose clipper sometimes, which I need to find mine because my nose is doing my head in. And you get all them. They're men grooming devices. A man grooming kit that you can have. It has a wee bag, you can take it with you. It has a charger, which is a C charger, which is used in all the phones now too. So there's a charger you get out of it as well. And this thing, you can bring it with you, shave your balls, do whatever. Don't do what my mate done and use it on his beard because I've used it in my buttocks.
Don't get it mixed up.
Don't get it mixed up. And that's what you get. And know what you get because they're partners with us. You get 20% off. So when you go and you want to buy one of those kits, and you don't have to just, like if you're a girl listening to this and you're going, well, can I use it? Yeah, you probably can use it for shaving your McClatchy, right? I know it's called Manscaped, but I mean, I'm sure it'll escape everybody's scape. Do you know what I mean? Or you could buy it for your dad, your brother, your boyfriend, your gay best mate who's a hairy buttocks, which I doubt he has. But it's there, and you can get 20% off. Mudblood is the code, gets you 20% off just from us and Manscaped. If you haven't got one, go and get the kit. Have a good one.
Love it.
It's an advertisement for men's grooming parts down there, so we'll leave it without Carly in it. This
Is there a difference between grooming up here and grooming down there? Can you not use the same?
Oh, it's totally, you wouldn't use it.
You learn something new every day.
Anybody that does that's a sticker. He may do it, I don't. Your secret's out because you look guiltier when she said that.
I have a different wee head.
A mate of mine did use my Manscaped before when we were on holiday, and I was like,
First beer?
yeah.
Oh no.
He says, I used your beard clipper, is that alright? And I went, that's not a beard clipper. We started recording. Yeah. Very good. Straight into the end. So, welcome to the Mudblood podcast this week. Obviously, Willy's away all month to the Edinburgh Fringe, so we've been bringing different guests in. And this week, it's probably a personal sort of favourite of mine. Carly, how are you? Give your full name, give your full title.
Carly Anderson, also known as Flipping Belfast.
Flipping Belfast. And I don't know if the rest of us are like me, right? But you're going through Insta and you're watching different things, right? And I came across Carly's videos and I got interested in it. Obviously being a joiner, working and renovating houses, taking houses and flipping them and doing whatever. And I started watching her videos, and I have to say, personal favourite of mine, because it's there's a lot of people that go on there and do stuff and they're hard to watch sometimes because they're up their own hole. Do you get where I'm coming from in that?
Yeah.
Whereas yours was like, don't take this the wrong way either, but I love watching Homes Under the Hammer.
Yeah.
Yours was like a Belfast version of that to me. It was just like, you just were to the point, you were just telling it, you were easy to listen to. It was very informative, and I was like, so it's like catching people within the first 30 seconds. That's what I think is the important thing for people that make content, and you done that. And a couple of other people I asked about it were like, yeah, her stuff's really good, I would watch it and stuff like that. And a lot of people's taking interest in it, because I think people now in Belfast, we've always... Carly just told me a story about her daddy playing football and then being a painter, and obviously the joke painter, decorator. I was like, oh, that's where you get your money. And she was like, no. And then she told me a story about her daddy and working in the shipyard and then working in Bombardier. And I think that's a real Belfast thing, where we think, like, your daddy was sort of like, no, I have to bring money in. So many people done that, give up their dreams or something that they were good at because they were like, no, I have to get a wage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so when I see people doing well, I don't have that Belfast thing where I'm like, fuck them, do you know? And a lot of people do have that.
They do.
But I see it and I'm like, that's brilliant, because I'm the same. I chased my comedy dream for 13 years. Do you know, it took 11 and a full pandemic for to make it take off. But it was like watching your videos and you were saying, like, people saying to you, don't do it and no, and it's such a typical Belfast sort of working class thing. It's like, don't be doing that there, nah, you'll never make money, you'll never... And I don't think a lot of people are trying to bring you down. I think they're just scared themselves.
I think fear is a massive thing stopping everybody from living their dreams or even just authentic selves.
Yeah.
And they don't know it because so many people around them are doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Like teachers in school are telling you to like heading towards these careers. When I was in school, accountant, solicitor, teacher, and why? Because they were teachers, that's all they knew. So that's what they're telling you. So I didn't pursue what I wanted to do at the time, again, because of fear. And also in Belfast, I have to say, there's a massive thing about sick pay. So I used to be in the civil service, and when I said I wanted to do this, people were like, you're mad, you're the sick pay, you get...
No,
who cares?
civil service, I laugh. Some of my friends who were in the civil service because I used to go like, time in Lou. And it's like, because that's what they were, like everyone in the bar and stuff, they would have been like, Gabby, join the civil service or fucking don't have to bust your belly, you just do this. Do you know what I mean? And that, you're right, it's just like, but why would you do that? To live off, that's the point that I had, to live off that small amount of wage that comes in, which is just about enough.
Yeah.
You know, you can't plan anything. Like most of my friends that was in the civil service, if they had a holiday every year, their other half done something really good, or you know, had a better job, or they didn't have a holiday for 3 years.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like you're working just to survive. It's not even, you're not working to live.
No, just to pay the bills
And
get past. And you're never going to live, this is what started me off, because I'm never going to live my dream home. I'm never going to go and do the dream holidays that I want to do on that wage. I am just, you know, I'm just surviving. I'm just paying the bills.
yeah, and but when was it the first time that you took the jump and went, I'm going to go and get this, or I'm going to do a flip, or...
It was kind of when my back was against the wall more than anything. So I used to be married, and I had talked my ex-husband into buying this house, and I said we could knock it down and build our dream home on it. Now he was a wee bit fear, and he was like, could we afford this? Because he was the civil servant too. And I was like, yes, we'll work it out, let's buy it. So we bought it together, applied for planning permission, which got refused, and then we were like,
Panic stations.
Anyway, things happened. Personally, things happened. I had an ectopic pregnancy, lost the baby. Tim wasn't very well either, and we divorced. We fell apart. But I wanted to keep that house, Paddy. But on my civil service wage, and my kid, you know, doing it, and even like my ex said to me, you'll never be able to afford that house on your own, and he was right at that time. Even though I was like, I'd show you,
no,
you know
I know,
what I mean? He was
but
right.
there was something inside you already.
Yeah,
you knew you had something there. You knew there was something telling you go for it, and it's such a fear thing. And so many people, like I tell jokes about marriage on stage all the time, and one of my jokes, like, and it is a joke, but you know, I says I came home from a gig and she was saying we need to have a conversation, and I'm like, what? And I was working as a joiner 12, 13 hours on the site, and then at night time taking the car and going off and doing gigs all over the country. And she's like, I never see you and you're chasing this and chasing that. And she's like, why don't you do one thing? Just do one thing and be good at it. So there's something in me always, no. And I used to tell everyone, my dad was one of them. I used to go, Daddy, if this ever works out, like this comedy, because I'd done like big gigs with some of the bigger acts, and they were getting 30 grand for 45 minutes, and I was getting 200 quid. And I'm going, like, I'm on the stage with him, but there's the difference. Like, you know, if you ever got to that stage, you could do that, you know. And my dad's going, no, but it's hard work to get there, and you need a break, but in my head, I was always like, no. So I think you either have that phasing to keep going. And the times, like you probably went through them too, at the force and everything. Yeah. You're probably looking at yourself going, how am I going to... Because there was times when I was working on the building site, I went through a real bad time in the building sites where I went to the good times when I was like 23 and formed my own company, was doing lofts and extensions. I was walking into a house on a Monday night and people was going, much is it for the loft? And they're going, 20 grand. And they're going, right, I'm giving you the money on the next night. And I'm going, whoa, don't give me all the money, you know, I need incentive.
I'll spend it.
But like the people were able to phone the mortgage company up and go, I want 20 grand. They're going, take 70, you know, and that's what was happening. Yeah. And I had real good times, and then I took out 2 full pages in the yellow pages. Yeah. One for extensions, one for lofts. And everything went, oof. And then I was working on the door. I just had a big wedding in the Galgorm and was working on the door at the weekend. And mainly, not for the extra money, it was mainly to try and keep me off a drink at the weekend, because you were paying the wages on a Friday in a bar and then playing football on the Saturday. So it was just the whole thing, and put on loads of weight because I was injured at the time. And so I was doing that to try and do it. And then everything just went bust, like boom, like gone. I ended up taxi driving.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Lost part of a finger, ended up taxi driving. And I remember sitting in the taxi one day going, I had 2-3 vans going there. All these men working for me. And I am driving up and down the Falls Road in a black taxi. What the fuck has happened? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the comedy came about and it was like drugs for me, because when I got the good feeling on stage, and at the start it wasn't like, oh, I could make loads of money. It was just like, it was like a hobby that made me feel good about
it's
myself.
never about that straight, because you'll never get if it's just about money.
If it's just about money, you're not going to do it. You have to have a cause behind you. You have to have a push.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
that was my reason why. That house, I was like, right, I have to do something. What?
So you lost the house?
No, I was like determined I am not losing this house. But I needed it in my name, first of all, so I needed to afford it on a mortgage. And also I needed to pay Tim his share of his deposit.
On top of everything else.
On top of everything else. So I also thought if I do sell that house, it'll be tough to get, I love the street, it'll be tough to get back for the price I got it. And I was like, it's now or never. What am I going to do? So you can imagine I rocked up home and I was like, right, so I'm going to sell my house that I live in, my nice 3-bed semi, and I'm going to buy this dump of an apartment. Because I always had a wee bit of an interest, but I'd never done anything about it. I'm going to buy this dump of apartment and it's going to make me 25 grand so that I can give that money back to Tim, and then we'll figure out how we go. Now, I'm going through all this turmoil. Even looking back on it now, I'm like, how did I manage it? I was working full time. I then started this, and I wasn't very well physically, mentally myself, going through a divorce, and I was like, right, okay, I'm just going to buy this apartment. Gone through a few and viewed them and bid on them. I'm going to buy this one. But when I come home to my mum and dad, and like especially my dad, and said, by the way, I'm going to sell this house I live in and I'm going to buy this dump, he was like, right, you need to have a word with her.
They were worried about you, and they're probably sitting going, she's not thinking straight because she's going through the divorce. Do you know?
And it's just they want to protect me. I understand that, but I needed to do something. So sold the house, made good money on it because I'd done it, decorated it nicely and stuff, and was out bidding, bought an apartment. And then the week that I was getting the keys for that, another one that I bid on had fallen through. And the estate agent phoned and said, oh, this has fallen through, they'll take it for what you offered. And I was like, oh, I've already bought one. And he said, buy two. I said, could I buy two? And they're like, yeah, get a buy-to-let mortgage and buy the second one. So I did. So, do not recommend at home, guys, but I bought two. Now, you have a trade and all behind you. I didn't. No. I'm still a servant.
You need to get everybody to do it for you.
I can pick nice kitchen. That's as far as my experience was going. So I then was like, right, just have to do this. And it took me 6 months, and I flipped both those apartments in 6 months while working full time, while not being particularly great. And I even see when I'm handing out the money to the tradesmen, I was thinking, if I break even, at least I'll be all right, you know what I mean?
No, I get you.
Got to the end, put them up for sale and sold them 6 months, and both of them net profit made me £102,000.
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, and I was working full time, and I was like, holy, I could do this. I could sack off work and I could do that. But it wasn't, I didn't start from the bit where I'm going to create this property business or this flipping business.
You were doing it for a goal, a self goal, what I wanted that house, that I think, so this is what I need to do to keep that. It wasn't a career thing. You weren't chasing a career. And then when you done it, you went, wow. Because you were backed in the corner. You were basically backed in the corner, and you thought you were
sink or swim.
That's what you done.
Yeah.
And that is something that people don't even realise we have. And we have it in abundance in this country.
Absolutely.
It's just always been told that you don't have it for some reason. And I don't know why.
Do you know, I was thinking about this the other day, and I've never actually said it, but Tim, because he was from Cambridge, and really nice affluent area, and there's 2 friends of his that are from here, from Hollywood as well, so a nice wee part of the country, and they moved to England, and they kept saying when I was like, oh, we had to move because there's no opportunities in Belfast, there's no opportunities, and now I realise what they meant is there's no opportunities for an employee.
Yes.
But guess what? There's way more opportunities here than is in Cambridge or London, because there's so many people competing for a bit of action or something. But that's what they meant.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. And you know, one of the things, the scenes at the minute that's going massive here, right, which is coming away from both our things, is music and DJs. Yeah. The many DJs is coming from here. Because people are going, hold on, he done it. And it's, the comedians probably similar, there's 5 and 6 of us that was doing arenas 2 years ago. You know, for a small place like that, there's 1 million people in our country, and for us to all be doing an arena was insane. Plus all the big acts coming in on top of it, you know, and the world was starting to go, look at Belfast. fucking the north, they're
Yeah.
flying. Like I was down at a Electric Picnic the weekend, and all the southern comedians were like, we're so jealous of your scene up there. The English ones are like, your scene's amazing. And north of England now, they're starting to emulate what we have here.
Yeah.
And it's just like we all went, no, this is what's happening. We're going with it, and we're on with it.
But I feel like it just needs that one person to like the way. That's it. To plant that
And
seed.
what I like about you too is you're not hiding what to do.
No, I want everybody to know. I feel like going, what do you hear? You can make all this money if you just do
it's
this.
genuinely, you know what it felt like? It felt like, somebody who had clicked on about a wee secret toilet in a festival, and they're like, no, come on, I'll show you. Instead of keeping it to themselves and keeping it clean, you're like, I'm going to let everybody have a wee go.
Yeah.
And that's what I get from your videos, because I was looking at them and I'm going, and in my head I'm going, see, I could juggle that and the comedy at the minute.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start doing houses. And then my wife's going to me, you're not going to start. Because see, I know what you're like, because I'm mustard. If somebody comes to work in my house, the clothes is on and I'm out helping. Like, you know. And she's like, you can't help yourself. You have to be involved in it. You know. And I go, I just do. And I do miss the whole crack of being out. Me and a fella used to work together there for a lot of years. I moved through some real hard times. But what got us through was we messed about and the joke and the crack every day in work, and he's working away on his own now, and he's like, fuck, I miss you being here, fucking a bit of crack and all, and would have killed each other too. But I do, like, in my head I go, fuck, I wouldn't mind doing a wee bit, and then looking at houses, and I'm looking at the housing market here and I'm going, this place is going to go through the roof.
It's really strong, on fire, really strong.
And it's just class to see people like yourself doing that. And I mean, at the minute, how many projects have you got going?
At the minute, I have 4 on the go. I usually had like 3. Then I realised like a conveyor belt. One's always kind of starting. You're just getting the keys. One's knee deep in rubble, and then the other one at the end is sold or ready to go on the market.
Which is a conveyor belt?
Yeah,
You
which
have
it
a
works
conveyor
great
belt?
until something goes
Yes,
wrong in the
no,
middle.
of course.
But you know,
yeah. And by the way, can I just let people know, like, although Carly says you could do it, you can do it. It's also not easy at times.
It's
you
not
have to be
easy.
mentally strong, because I
you
know
have to
what
be
it's
resilient.
like.
I mean, I always say that there's times when I'm in every house that I'm crying. Like it's 1:00 in the morning and I'm putting some furniture together, and I'm so jealous of my friends who just said to me, "Oh, we're just going to watch something on Netflix and have a Chinese," and I'm like, sitting in my own.
I don't even get that, because I have kids. You know what I mean? It's just constant. I go, who are these people that sit in the house and they go, just cracked open a glass of wine here and I'm watching it, and I'm going, what? How are you doing that?
But there is all those times, and then there's the kind of, juggling money and that kind of stress off it of what you're doing, or investors, whatever it is. But there's all the tough times. But I always say, Paddy, when that money hits my account, I'm like, what was I moaning about?
Yeah. Listen, it's like anything, when you can see a reward, but also I don't even think it's just the money.
No, it's not.
Like, there's nothing better than walking in when a project's done and looking around and going, like, this wouldn't have happened, only I don't.
Yeah.
So, because I used to get that, I wanted to be a vet and pharmacist and all that there, because I was good at science when I was at school, but monotony, I remember going into Ruddock and Shearat, which was a lab down the town, which is the George Best Hotel. It was the top 2 floors, and they tested stuff like if you got a mouse in your milk, the dairy farm would send in the bottles of milk to prove that it wasn't in there before, or the client would send you in, so you represent them for court, and you done all the tests on it, and you were getting like £200 a week, and it was monotonous. You're in the same lab doing it, and I went, I'm not leaving school to go and do this. So, like, for me, it was just the change of scenery on the building sites, and like, don't get me wrong, I took projects like the student accommodation. I went down and sort of like joinery foreman on one of them, so I was there for like 7 months, and it was just repeat on each floor. But it was sort of like a stopgap. But I really liked the whole change, not being monotonous every day and doing something different. But see, once you finished the project and you brought the clients in and you were standing looking at it, and it was exactly what they thought, was amazing.
Satisfaction.
When it was not what they thought, it was a neighbour.
Yeah.
But that
when
didn't
it
really
worked,
happen all the time, because you normally could change things and what. But yeah, I mean, there was stuff we would have done. I could have made, fireplace. I was very lucky that I was trained in every aspect of joinery, so I could do workshop stuff and on-site stuff. And at the end, I started doing like bespoke handmade stuff, sort of like fireplaces and TV wall cabinets and all that stuff. And paneling was a big thing just when I was coming till the end. And I was able to do all that because I had done it. And see, just people showing you. I loved Pinterest, because I used to go on Pinterest, show me it. If you show me an actual picture and tell it, because sometimes people would tell you, and when they tell you, and then you put it, what you interpreted what they were telling you was not what they wanted, and they turn up and they go, oh, it's not.
That's not
So you
right,
need to
yeah.
see a picture of it, you know. But I think there's nothing better than that, walking in and seeing some work done and you've done it, and then somebody else coming in and going, I love this, I'm going to buy it.
Well, when I started posting on Instagram, that's because I was so proud of what I created at the end. I was like, oh my goodness, and I had before and after pictures, and it was like something, as you're saying, on Homes Under the Hammer or those American flip or flop TV shows. Like, I was like, oh my, and I staged them as well, so everything was picture perfect.
Of course.
And I was really proud and just putting it on to, not for anybody else, this was just like
For
show
you.
my friends and me,
No,
like what
but
I'm
I
doing.
mean, why not?
Yeah.
Do you know, if there's a girl out there that makes cakes, she puts them in it. What has happened with social media now, it gives everyone a platform, because, you know, even when I think about spending 10 grand a page in the Yellow Pages, it done nothing.
10 grand, I didn't know that's what it was, right?
Like, it was a big gamble. That's why it's a big deal in my head, because
Yeah.
I remember it going bust, and I just remember looking at these 2 bits of paper in my house and
20K.
going, oh my God,
Right.
what I would do for 20k right now,
Yeah.
and I can't rip that out of the book. And I, like, no phone calls, like, it just died.
Stopped.
And the Yellow Pages died.
Died now.
You know, and it was, so when I think back now, like 20k, if I had 20k to spend now on advertising, what I could do on Instagram would be unbelievable. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's, even for comedians, we don't need to do Leve de Polo or anything, because we have our own TV, and people now don't sit in and watch Top of Pops on a Thursday night. People want to watch when they watch it, and it's like 30-second clips. So people just watch it, and that's how I came across your stuff. I loved it, do you know what I mean? So I was sitting watching it and going, this is brilliant, and I had an interest in it, and I love them TV show, because she cracks up. We'd be driving down somewhere, and I go, I work in that house there. And I went, and she's like, right. I am that typical, you know.
My dad does that.
It's definitely like,
Painted that house.
and your daddy probably the same. I could tell you a story
Painted
about
Jake's
each
Hotel.
job.
Every time we go past it, I painted in there.
Do you know what I mean? It's what a tradesman does. So we take massive interest. So I don't know who else would sort of look at that, but I know that a vast majority of people now do look at, because I know at the minute, we're in our house 6 years, and I knocked the whole back end of the house into one room.
Yeah.
And we still haven't put the kitchen in, because we still haven't fully decided exactly what we want. And last year I went and got plans to build out, but the problem is we don't have a massive back garden. So it's do we lose out the back to get what we want inside. And then, so just this week we have decided, no, we're going to put the kitchen in the way it is in the room, the big long room that it is now. We just won't have the island the way we want it, but we're getting in it.
Yeah.
So it's took it's going to be 7 years.
Yeah, before
In
you get it.
September.
Right,
That,
okay.
like that. And I'm just like at the stage, and I can put up with stuff, but I'm like, I want this kitchen gone now. Because it was like a temporary kitchen that I put in. I'm like, I am so done with this room right now. The rest of the house is done. I need this done so that we can do the back, and then that's it. The whole house is being completed. You know, so it just pulling my hair out. But that's
And
the
it's
way-
something out of your mind as well. Like, I live in a lot of the flips, and you know, you get so far. Like, I move in obviously when it's, you know, the kitchen's in and it's all painted and everything, but sometimes you're so busy doing other stuff, you're like, you don't get that picture up, or you don't get the front of the house done, or you don't get, and then it's a rush, but you know, at the end when you're like, right, this needs sold,
Yeah.
but you've lived in it for so long because it's dead on. It's
So you
all
have
right.
lived in most of them?
Yeah.
That's unreal.
So if I live in them, I don't pay capital gains tax on them because it's my home.
Yeah.
I haven't lived in all of them, but I've lived
Get you,
in
yes.
a lot of them. And also because I need a home. Because guess what?
Oh,
I
yes.
sold that first house.
Is that gone then?
Oh yeah, no, the first house that I lived in to start doing this, that
Yes.
had to be sold. So then I had to move into one. So it's like a hobo moving from house to house to house. The one I'm in currently is one I flip, but as I'm saying,
Yeah.
was saying to you earlier, I'm building my own house at the minute. I don't want to live in a caravan because I'll be demented and I'll be like, when's this ready? When's this ready?
Then you'd be a proper traveller then.
Oh yeah. So I
You
don't want
actually
to
move
do
more
that.
than traveller, so you do.
I probably do. So I don't want to do that. So I want to stay in the one. But so it's just a wee juggling of like finances and when
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
selling it and getting it finished. But just all those wee open tabs in your head make you go, no, I need to get this, get it done, get it finished.
Well, the thing about that too is you never leave work.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so you're constantly living within your work, which is a hard thing to do.
It is,
Because
yeah.
as I said, that 6 months I was in the house on my own, doing it up at night. I was coming home from work, not getting out of my work clothes, nipping around to her mum's, getting my dinner, going back round the work clothes, working till 10 o'clock. And I was quite lucky that the guy who lived next door was a young fella, and he was like, I don't care what time you're hammering away to. But by 10 o'clock, like, I was like exhausted. So, and then going to bed, getting up at 6 in the morning, going to work, and then coming back and repeating that. And that was so hard.
Tough.
And then in between that, it was like gigs and stuff like that there. So you were coming home, I can't do this tonight because I have to go and do a gig, run around, get in the shower around the corner, because with no showers, no nothing, like I had to strip the whole house completely back, and it was just a nightmare. And I was like, I have no escape. So in the middle of it all, a friend of mine was like, I'm going to Paris, and I was like, I'm going with you, and I just went. So it was one of them ones, like, it was like, I don't care who cares, I'm away, and went over to watch a football game for like 3 days, and I just needed the escape. So it was one of them ones too. But that's amazing that's done. So you have this house that you're coming out of the ground now, which is going to be your dream home. Are you going to stay? Are you going to start with that? Or never say never?
To me, this is like the dream home. I'm staying there and put a swimming pool in it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, love it, right? So this is the dream for me. And it's in the dream location. And this has been the sole focus for me for the last like 5, 6, maybe more years from when I actually bought it. But all my friends go, you're not staying there. Where I was like, I will. And they're like, we'll see. Give you a couple of years and see if you get itchy feet and move again.
It's one of them things, like, when I started comedy, I was like, here's my goals. I would love the MC in the Empire. Do that, right? Number 2 was, if I played the Fela, which is the local festival, I'm happy. And then within 8 months, I done the Fela, and I was like, right, okay, that's done. Headline it. If I headline it, right, that's done now. It's like,
because you're always pushing, aren't you? You're always
it's
developing.
I think it's like training for something, like a runner, and you're going, I'm training for the marathon. I'll do one marathon, that's it. And a lot of people, once they get into it, and they'll do more than one marathon. And I think it is just that, you know, set wee goals, but never end goals. Do you know what I mean? Why have end goals? Just have goals, and just get them, and then you get that wee goal, move on to another one. And
like when I started as well, when that seed was planted, oh my goodness, I could do this, because there are 102 grand in 6 months. That was more than double what I was earning. Do you know what I mean? And 100%. I thought, and I was doing it in my spare time, and actually I quite enjoyed it. So I thought that's where that seed was planted. And then the flips came thick and fast. The next thing I bought was 2 houses and another 2 and another 2. Net profit on 1 3-bed semi was 75k. I'm only buying 2-bed apartments and 3-bed semis. And I was like, that took me 6 months, and I loved it, and I had great crack doing it. So that then went on, and then I educated myself a bit better. So I took on a really expensive course in England for a year, and learned all about different property strategies,
which is called reinvesting.
And I think people here don't invest in themselves. There's a real fear about, I've spent that money, or are they all right? You know, do you want to spend that? That's a lot of money.
You have an event coming up, isn't that right?
Yes, for under 25s.
Yes, and I seen that, and I was like if you're thinking of this, or if you're watching the videos, do it. Just do it.
It's 49 quid. Like, it's not.
No, I mean, how much is, like, 49 quid is a trip to the cinema now.
100%.
It really is. Like, it's not massive money. And I was just like, because my young fella, like, I said to him, what do you want to do? And he wants to be a football agent, a music agent. And he's like, well, I'm going to do law, just so that he knows that end of it. He's not going down law. And I'm sort of like, well, I'm not going to stop him. But I could just see the difference in some of the young ones now, when I was like, what do you want to do? And he went, I want to make money. And I'm like, brilliant. That's like, he's already going, I'm not going to just go into...
They're a different breed.
They are. And they have that different mentality because of everything that's...
I was in Labri's, like, chasing Kevin. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, at the time. And I... At that age, whereas now I see them and they come to me because they see what I'm doing, and they're like, I want to flip houses, show me how to do this. And that, they inspire me, because some of the things they've done
once you become the teacher of it, it sort of validates what you've done. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's sort of, when I asked you to come on here, I just wanted to be a wee different, because we bring comedians on and some rabbits on and whatever, but it was like a personal one for me. But I was like, do you know what? It's another, because there's a lot of people send me messages and go, you got me through tough times just listening to you. And I want people to know there's other things out there that you can do and get involved in. And if somebody sees that, you know, if one person watches this and goes, fuck, and went down that route, I'm doing my job with the podcast. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
It's just I don't want people just because people would say that I want to do comedy, but there could be women and girls watching this going, well, I never thought I could do that, but maybe I can, and start watching your content. And if one person does it from you doing that, it validates you too.
Totally, and that's the whole reason I'm doing it. That is actually what lights me up, like showing people, oh my goodness, you can do it. And not just with property, with everything. So some of the guys have come to me, they have totally inspired me by by their journey, and these are young girls and guys, and I thought, do you know what? I want to do an event for young people to show this is possible, because nobody showed me that it was possible. So I want to do this low ticket so that they can afford it and come. But it's okay me saying that, because somebody at 21, I'm an idol. So I'm not. But do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to ask you. I know, I thought you didn't answer. So I was like, no, I need to bring their peers in.
Yeah.
And these are the ones that have all approached me or I've worked with before. And I've thought, like, these are the guys that need to be here. And I've asked them, and they're like, oh my goodness, we would be so excited. So I have some corkers coming. I have a guy, Finn, who was on my course 2 years ago. Finn turned 21 a couple of weeks ago, and he is now financially independent, as we call it. So he earns, you won't mind me saying this, $6,000 a month from his rental properties. And that's it. They're from his rental, so he doesn't have to do anything on a day-to-day basis. So he spent the last 10 weeks travelling around Australia. And when I said to Finn, well, what would you do in Australia? He said, I just made friends, bought a car and drove around it.
Whereas a lot of kids that have to go to Australia now are going over to pick fruit and do whatever they need to do to survive, like minimal.
You know, this is just the start of his journey, really. He's just turned 21.
He's 21. Think about Finn when he's 40.
100%. And he's used mine was from he's used other people's money to do this as well.
Which isn't illegal, by the way.
Yeah, no, definitely
do you know
not.
What I mean?
And his mindset at the start was, sure, nobody will take me seriously because I'm only 18. Look what he's done in 2 years. And he was on my actual course that I went over to England and invested heavily in to learn different strategies. And that's, you know, that put in my head, first of all, actually, maybe it's not all just flipping. Maybe I need to build up a portfolio so that if I don't want to do this in the future, I want to do something different or market changes or whatever, I have.
And do you have that?
Yeah, so I've started doing that. So it's a nice balance of both. Flipping will always be my bread and butter, but that is there. So I've actually got a little Airbnb starting in Hollywood, which comes under that. So I've learnt, you know, spent a long time learning all the different strategies and what I need to know to move forward. But these guys, like, there's one of them, Dara, came to me and he was like, Carly, he's from here, and he goes, I need to do this, you show me how. Now I'm at uni and I'm in my finals, but I'm gonna try and get some money together. And I says, right, what are you gonna do? And he says, I'm gonna open up like my own business online. And brilliant. And he came to me a year later and said, I think I have enough money for a flip. Now I've been busy, but I says, right, what did you get? 60k. And I was like, what have you done? What are you doing? You do 2 flips. And he was like, could I? Oh my God. He says, I've been selling like luxury trainers, and, you know, I just set up this like luxury concierge on Instagram.
These kids are... Maybe that has a mate that does that, all that there with the clothes. So he flips all these clotes. Yeah. And maybe I was like, I'm buying them off my mate who lives in the city centre. And I'm like, whereabouts? And it's down by the market. And I was like, and what's he doing? He says, he flips clothes. And I was like, right. And I was like, are they stolen? No. So I went in, and I went in because I was like, how long did I go? And so I went in with him, and this kid was like, do you want stuff I've got? You like Stone Island? No, I've got. And I was like, where do you get these? And he says, what happens is when the new line comes out, I go around and buy all the stuff. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. So he says, like JD, I have to send people in to buy the stuff because I'm bored. Don't sell to me, because he buys all the stock on all the shops, and then when people want them, they can't get them. And he has them, and he puts like £5, £10 on a pair of goods. And he says, if I sell 10 pair of goods, that's £100 back, you know. And he just flips loads of clothes. And I'm going, that's a kid at 17. And he's been doing it from he's 15. That's unbelievable. Like, and he was saying he's going away to Amsterdam. I'm going away to Amsterdam. Maybe going for a couple of days. He went, no, we're going for 2 weeks and I'm going to around. And I'm
brilliant.
Same sort of thing.
Same thing. So it's important to me to get all these people in the one room and show them. I'll teach them about how you get a free house. I'll teach them, you know, how you make 50k in a flip. That's fine, and how you do it with other people's money, but these guys also need to be in the room. And it's not just that. There's a girl, a beautician from here, there's a guy that flips cars. It's not just one industry.
Get you.
But it's important for me, it's only 2.5 hours to show them that. We'll have great crack doing it. You know, there'll be guys in the room that earn 100k a month and here in Northern Ireland.
That's
and
mind-blowing,
the guy
isn't
that
it?
I'm talking about he used to sell cars.
It's mental.
Here, so it's to show, it's just, that's what I want. Even if they walk away and at 30 odds they're sitting in a job and think, do you remember that mad bitch said I could do anything I want?
It's a mindset thing, and I have a friend of mine who was working for one of the big car dealerships, and he was doing his own stuff at the weekends, right? And he never had a minute. He was just constantly, I would go to him and say, I need a 7-seater, and he's like, I'll get you a 7-seater. And he was doing it for all people he knew.
Yeah.
And so he was doing all this, plus he was the best salesman in the company. So his boss was like, you do it. So he never tortured him. He was like, you just do what you're doing. And he had the boss's Ferraris and Bentleys whenever he wanted them and all, because he was the best salesman. But he phoned me, it was like, I never forget, it was like a Tuesday. And he went to me, remember me and you were talking and you were like, why wouldn't you do this just yourself? Why are you working for somebody else? And he went, do you think about work? And I went, if you don't, here's me, you're that good of a salesman. If you went away for a year and it didn't work out and it didn't suit you, if you phoned him, he'd take you back. And in the morning, he owns a luxury car hire business, which is the only one in Ireland at the moment. He's selling cars all over the world and has bought an old primary school and is going to convert it into a massive car showroom in the middle of the country. and like that happened just before COVID, and in 5 years where he's at is unbelievable. But
and the thing is, the 5 years is going to pass anyway, so you may as well do something about it.
He could still be sitting in that job going, and he wouldn't have been where he is right now. Do you know what I mean? Like the fact that he has a luxury car hire business, which is, he owns all the cars that's in it, and they're all for there, and people's like, he's insane doing that, who's going to hire them cars? And I went, wait till you see the Open next year. Wait till you see the Open next year. But people are hiring them. That's the thing. They think that there's not people there. Like you're saying, there's people who are on 100 grand a month that are from here. People don't know that these people exist because they don't think they do, but they do. You know what I mean? And it's getting within them networks and like meeting people and who are on the same wavelength.
And just getting out there. I think people here have like, when you say networking, but really all networking is like having a chat with people who have the same interests.
It's just meeting people and talking. And do you know what? See, once you go on the frequency and you're like, people think this is insane, but see, once you're thinking like that and you meet these people, the things, the opportunities and everything just falls into place.
100%. And everybody wants you to do well.
It's when you're on that, there's nobody at that stage.
There's nobody, because if you're a TikToker and you have 1 million followers and somebody says to you, I want to be and puts your first video up with like 3 views, you're like, go on then, It's the people that are sitting miserable in jobs that 100%. Are like, your man's put a video on TikTok, like who does he think he is?
Many people that I went to school with, or even people that go, see my mate, he's funnier than you, and I'm going, right, well, put him on, I'll get him the gig.
Yeah,
and loads of them I've went, and see when it comes to crunch, they don't do it.
They don't do it, yeah.
But I go for it.
Yeah.
Give it a go. People will podcast. I was like, let's start a podcast. Do it. Do it. Are you sure? Would you not be against it? I'm like, why would I? I'm doing well with mine. But you could be doing, it's like, comedy's like food as well, because everybody has different tastes. You know, so...
Yes.
It's like loads of different restaurants opening up in the town, and they're going, I'm sure your mate's right, because my mate has a successful restaurant in the town, and he is nothing but, he says, no, I want loads of them open, because it creates the scene, and
100%. And that's what I want, loads of people. Like, I also have a course that I teach people how to flip houses, but my goal is somebody in there makes more than me. You know what I mean? That's it. Like, and I'm getting messages, weekly saying, "Oh, Carly, I sold the house, made 40k. Oh, like this has changed my life. Oh my goodness." And 20k, 30k from all these people that I've shown. Like,
unreal.
It's brilliant.
And you're running your own race. So see when people say, "Oh, you're in a race with them people," you're not.
I'm not.
You're doing your own thing. So when they're sending you a message and they get a big win, and you didn't get as good a win as them, but you still got a win. You're like, brilliant.
I love it.
Do you know what I mean?
Because I think there's abundance. There's enough here for every single person. And if you want to bring it back to house, guess what? There's thousands, hundreds of thousands of houses here in Northern Ireland. So, and there's abundance of everything.
Oh, listen, it's just, I think it's only starting. I genuinely only think it's starting. I remember At the time before the bust, I had put a deposit down on a house that was 500,000. And like I didn't think twice about putting the deposit down. I was like, no, I'm bad, it's fine. Because everything was booming. I was, and it was then a fella that I know that was involved in the finance industry. He's like, have you sold yours yet? And my 3-bedroom that I bought for 89, they were selling for like 270, 280. I was like, have you sold it? And I went, no. And he went, right, here's the issue. You're going to be stuck with 2 houses.
Okay.
And I went, well, what am I going to do? And he went, how much deposit have you put down in the other house? And I think it was 25 grand or something. And he went, just let it go.
Right, okay.
And I went, what? And he went, just let the 25 go. Just tell him you don't want the house. And I'm like, what do you mean let 25 grand? Like 25 grand's 20.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you want to be stuck with 2 houses? And I went, no. And he went, because you're not going to be able to afford both of them.
Right.
He says, you're not going to get a mortgage for the other one unless you sell that one. So you're going to lose both of them. So you have to let that 25 go. And I'm going,
Flip me, yeah.
how do you do this?
Yeah.
And lucky for me, the building company, without asking me, had put a massive retaining wall at the back of the house because the house behind us wanted a garage and they needed to put a retaining wall. And it wasn't in the original plans that I signed for.
So you keep...
So when I got my plans out, I was like, I bought off this plan. This is your new plan. That's a revised plan. It says revised on it. And they all were sitting in the meeting and they went, doesn't matter, we can build a retaining wall. And I went, no, you can't, because I don't want kids in. And that wasn't in the original plan. That would have been a lovely hill that I was buying the house for. And they all sat in the meeting, and then they turned around and went, yeah, we'll have to give your money back. And I got mine back.
Brilliant.
But a friend of mine was buying a semi-detached in the place. It was 15 grand. And he let the 15 grand go, and he says it near killed him. And the house that he was buying was 330. He bought the same house for 120,000. And he's like, although I felt like I lost 15, he says I made it massive. So he says, thank you for telling me to do what to do, because I would have persevered with it and struggled and probably lost the house because of the interest rate. So all them things sort of happen, do you know what I mean? But I can see it all coming back that way again. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing, like, that you could be in that. And for, like, you're accessible. Like, do you know one of them ones, you look at somebody and you go, wonder how he made his money, or wonder... You know when people want that? You're getting it out. Like, you're having...
And I'm happy to tell everybody. I'm really open and transparent about it. Like,
when did the social media stuff come in?
I started after I'd done 2 flips. Like, I just started posting like the pictures before and after, really. That was it. And then it was quite quick, like people starting to follow and ask questions.
Do you have people coming to you and asking you to do their house for them?
Yes.
Do you do it?
No.
Because that's not your job.
No, it's not my job. I'm not an interior designer. And also, people have asked me before, a lot of people have asked me, but if I went and did it, what am I charging them? Because to do my own house, I'm making 75 grand. So unless I'm charging them more than 75 grand.
No, I get that. I get that. But you know, there's some people...
And also, people are on you. I'm at my own pace and measure here. If I'm putting myself under pressure for a deadline.
You're in control of the situation there.
And again, where are they? Are they in the house? Are they, it's just, it's pressure that I don't need. Yeah. And it wouldn't be for any
You then become
reward.
an employee, and why do you need to do that?
Yes, I haven't left one job for another, really. So
I thought you were still in the civil service. I thought you were still starting.
You're still in the second.
But do you know what it is?
Carly, we need to bring you in, talk to you about these houses here. But that can happen. I went into teaching.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I always thought I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Just to see. Yeah. And I was right. Because
but a lot of comedians do teaching, don't they?
Yeah. And I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'm down to the kids' level or something. Maybe it's a wee thing, it's not right in my head. But the kids were brilliant. I love teaching the kids.
Yeah.
Do you know I hated? The work. The workaholic. Because I get brought in for an appraisal and work, and the guy said to me, you're brilliant at your job, all the kids love you, you meet all the deadlines, you're everything, like tick, 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 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And then he closed it over and he went, I need to have a conversation with you. And I was like, about what? And he was like, I was golfing with a guy that works for Ticketmaster, and you earn a year's salary in one night. And I went, 1, that has fuck all to do with you.
Yeah.
And 2, is this an issue? And then at that moment, I realised that the boss of the company had a moment where he was like, this fucker makes more than me. And he had an issue with it.
Right.
I didn't.
You didn't, yeah.
It wasn't like... I didn't even when I was in there, I didn't I bought a second-hand jag. Like, it wasn't even like, there's some of them hadn't, like, I didn't buy, in my head, there was something saying to me, don't buy nicer than the boss.
Right, okay.
Because if you're driving something nicer in the car park than the boss, you'll rub them up the wrong way.
Right.
And I specifically didn't do that. I bought a second-hand jag, a nice enough car, but it was second-hand. It was nothing. And they all had their nice cars and work. And I remember when I drove at it, and then the next minute was that get pulled in, and then he was like, all the staff heard you on the radio there. How were you on the radio when you were in here? And I was like, it's called pre-record. You stupid cunt. And then they were sending me to university to do a degree, so that would have been me like putting pressure on myself to get a degree in teaching and stuff like that. And I was going home, and every day I was going home and I was going, this happened and this happened, and I could just see they were obviously talking about you behind your back.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of them ones where they were like, how can you do that? And then I had a gig in Galway, and he came in to me the next morning and he was like, you were in Galway last night at 7:30. You put it up live on your feed. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you must have left here early. And I went, I didn't. And he was like, how did you get to Galway by 7:30? And I went, well, I actually got a lift. And I was sleeping in the car.
So your friend with the luxury car hard
and it was like, it wasn't even, it was another comedian picked me up, and he was driving me to Galway. He was like, I'll drive because I can sleep in tomorrow, but you can't. And I looked at him and I went, are you having a laugh here? And he was like, well, the staff have came to me, right? And I went, okay. And he went, so we're going to check the cameras. And I went, go for it. Because I knew that I didn't leave. Every single one of them left before 4 o'clock, bar me, and they all got fucking pulled. Like, like a brushed away sort of, now they've all been hearing me, but I left at the time I was meant to leave it, and I still get pulled. And I went, I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
You know,
under the microscope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so it was one of them ones where, so that was, that to me, I found hard, like, because you are putting stuff out there in the social media. So, have you had much of that? Have you had hate? Had you had...
Do you know what? I touch wood. Like, I haven't really, to be honest. There's been a couple of odd wee comments, like, and people who are just, you know, haven't listened to the podcast or haven't listened to, you know, what you're saying. Like, somebody wrote, tee hee hee, isn't it great having daddy's money? And I thought, if you'd even...
But,
like,
that comment, that's... There's so many people that I go, the slabber online, and I go, come and meet me in person.
Yeah.
Because if you meet me in person, you're not...
And you still don't like me.
Then that's fine. Do you know, but the vast majority of people... Like, there was somebody met me recently at a concert, right? And they were like, can I get a photo? And I was like, yeah. And then they were like, you're not really that funny. And she likes you better than I like you, and blah, 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 right? And I stood with him for 5 minutes. And he sent me a message, and he was like, you're actually sound. You're actually sound. I actually thought you were a prick. You're actually sound. And I'm like, well, what part of me did you think I was a prick?
Yeah.
Like, what was it? And he was like, I don't know. It was just because you're online talking and all. And I'm like...
job.
But yeah, do you know what I mean? So it's hard not to look at negative comments, but that's great that you don't.
There's a couple of wee comments here and there, but nothing. She's a dose and all this here, but nothing that stands out. Nothing that, but it's still, you still do go, oh Jesus, and then
no,
you know,
I get
it's
you.
natural.
You gulp. This is what I say to people. You go, like that, because people say I'm very confrontational, and if somebody said something, I go and say, well, what's the crack?
Yeah.
Look them in the eye and go, what, are you serious or what? You know. I am like that, and that was one of the things that was wrong with me in a workplace, because you can't. I worked on building sites, so if somebody had a problem with you, you went in the meeting and were like, "What the fuck's your problem?" You know. Whereas you couldn't do that in workplaces. They were like, "Well, you can't have that confrontation," and I'm like, "So you just let them fucking slam her behind your back, or give you shit, or steal your chair from your desk." Like it was, I mean. I'm not even joking. I got a new chair, and they're like, "Who's he to get a new chair?" And I came in the next day, and their chair was put in place of my brand new chair. And I'm like, and then they were good fuck. Like this is ridiculous. Like, but in their head, oh, I gotta win on him. I took this fucking brand new chair, you know. And you're going, fuck me, you know. But it's good that you don't get that.
I don't, touch wood, like I don't really get anything like that. But you know, it is daunting. Even if I do, I don't care.
It's like blinkers time.
Yeah. I always feel like those people, God love you. That's what I think. And
do you know?
Then
see now, it's an automatic block.
Yeah, and I don't need it. I would delete
know
the comment,
reason why.
block it.
Do you know why? Because they're not giving anything positive.
No.
It's like somebody being at one of your things and constantly shouting out and not
Yes.
giving everybody a chance.
Yeah.
That's all that person is. They're not needed.
Totally. There was one wee guy who I don't know who he was, because he had obviously it's all a fake picture and whatever, and he kept saying, and all of them, he didn't follow me, but he must have been a big fan. The wee fella must have, because he didn't follow me, but he was able to see every post and comment under everything, and he kept saying, oh, it's all right to put a house in a rising market. I kept going on and on, all these stupid comments, and then I just nipped it in the bud and said to him, hi, you're my biggest fan. Hi, wee man, you're my biggest fan. Like, what's your... And he said something cheeky back, and I said something cheekier back, even to him. And he literally deleted every single comment he's ever made and gone.
It's crazy.
So,
it's crazy.
just because I said it to him, we should have said it to him at the start.
And
but
it might have been him, it might have been her.
it might have been. It might have been.
I mean?
It was a picture of a man, so I just assumed it was. But you don't know who it was. You don't know who it was. But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Get
It
rid.
could be somebody that you know.
It's
a mad situation.
That's
but
what my best friend says. Are you sure you don't know that person?
Do you know,
and I was
because
like, who knows?
it's somebody said to me once, if somebody's going about telling everybody else and saying stuff about you online and not saying it to your face, they actually don't have a problem with you. Do you know what I mean? They actually
100%.
don't have a problem, because unless they face you, they don't have a
Yeah.
problem with you. It's a problem with themselves. And they're just like, and that's somebody, like, look at the time they spent doing that.
Yeah.
Think of the time they could have spent doing something for themselves.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Instead of being negative.
And a lot of people get hung up about that, because there might be, like I'm saying, there's hardly any negative comments I get, which is great, but I think that would stop somebody at the very beginning. And some of the ones on my course are like, oh no, but I'll put the pictures up of the house, but not me, like want to remain faceless. But I mean, that's not going to get you the reach.
Yes.
I feel like I'm as authentic as I can be, you know, on there, showing the good, showing the bad, everything that's going on. People know me. I don't just put up stuff about houses. I'm not one of these ones where I'm coming on and tell you, you know, what the you know, the mortgage rates are today and everything. It's boring, it's dull to me. So I'm like showing if I'm out in Mallorca dancing in the bar, or I'm, you know,
No, but that's
all
real
life,
life.
like all the things that I'm actually doing.
I think the most interesting thing about people that do stuff is finding out wee things about them. Do you know, like Paddy McGuinness, who take me out, all that, he came to one of my gigs in Derry and just turned up and out of the blue, and then spent the night. I was meant to be coming home. I ended up with him till 4 o'clock in the morning, drinking and talking, and he turned out to be one of the nicest, most genuine people I've ever met.
Brilliant.
Whereas I didn't really like him on his TV show. Do you know what I mean? But as a person, I thought he was great. Do you know what I mean? And I love genuine, authentic people when you meet them like that.
100%. But the guys that won't do that in any industry, they're missing out on so many opportunities.
Oh, completely.
Like, that's a whole job in itself, you know?
No, completely.
And I think even on a property level, I've had so many investors come through that way. They don't know me from Adam.
Oh, but they can see, this is what you can do.
Oh, you want to meet me for a coffee? Do you want to come to my house? Do you want to come meet me and my wife? And they want to hand over, like one person wanted to hand over $500,000 straight away to me. And I was like, great. But it's mad when you think about it.
Yeah. No,
it's completely...
Look, when I done lofts and extensions, building control's not meant to recommend anybody. There was 2 firms that recommended. Mine was one of them and the other one. And the thing about us was, we different things that I done. I would advertise and say, no squicks, no rattles. And they were like, well, how do you do this? And I go, it's quite easy. The staircases, we don't make any MDF in it. The tread wood is what's used for, like the sides and the treads, everything's made from solid wood. And it's all the same timber. There's no this, not there. So your staircase, that for me was like, so many lofts you would walk into and it's creepy. And then it to me is like, is this safe? Do you know what I mean? Whereas, so we done that, and we just adhered to building control, like just fully. And we also offered full structural engineering plans, which showed exactly what you were getting. And it was near enough like a plan drawn for your loft. And then we would go in with them, and you paid the guy separately. There was no extra money that we got on that. And we were like, that gets submitted to building control, and we just copy that print, and that's what you're getting. And it's over and above what everybody else is doing. Plus, a lot of them weren't putting in the full insulation, where we were like putting 130 mil in. And then on top of that, the roof, we were doing like 4, because my dad was a roofer. So I was like, you're getting 4 layers of felt. And they're like, well, why are you doing this? And I went, well, see the roof, it's a tiled roof or it's a slated roof. We're effectively taking that away and we're putting a shed in your roof. And a lot of people's putting the shed 1 layer of felt on it. I says, we're putting underlay 3 layers of felt, then the solar paint and all of it. I says, and we're giving you a 15-year guarantee. And they're like, only 15 years? And I go, look, it'll probably last 12, but we're giving you 15 because it's basically felt, you know, that's what you're getting. And I think when you're honest like that and people know exactly what they're getting, so they were like, well, he's not hiding anything.
Yeah.
And like, we went to this girl's house, which was a terrible thing happened. It was up in Hightown. And I gave her a price, and it was £23,000. I was like, look, your house is practically timber frame. I said, so what we need to put into it to build this loft up, it's why there's an extra like $4 or $5 grand. And she was like, right, okay. And she phoned me a week later and she's like, this guy can do it for 12 grand. And I went straight away, what's that tell you? I says, I've give you an itemized building. I says, just show him and say, can you put exactly in what he's doing? And he was like, aye. And she phoned me, I'd say a year later, and she was crying down the phone. She was like, I need you to do the job for me. And I was like, right, okay. I says, what's the matter? And she was like, I did get the other guy to do it. And I went, well, look, I can't do the job. I need to go out and assess. And she was like, what do you mean? So I got out to her house and I was like, see, to put it the way we need to do it, we actually have to go back the way, strip out all what he done, then go back the way, strengthen the whole house. And the job would have been 47 grand. So I had to, and the girl was in tears. Yeah. She actually ended up giving them 18. Right. We were 23. God. And it wasn't done right. Yeah. And our mortgage company came in and we're like, if you don't put this right, we're wanting all the money for the house. So she's like, what are we going to do? We had the cheapest option for her was 30 grand, taking the roof off and putting like truss back in. Right, okay. And she ended up back to the original house. And it was so terrible to watch that happening. And you're just like,
and unnecessary.
There's people out there doing that. Do you know what I mean? How do you pick your building trades? Like, is there guys you use all the time, or
there is now? But saying that, tradesmen, like, it just.
I know, I was one. I'm so sorry.
I love them because I couldn't do my job without them. But there are some that would affect your mental health, like, and that's what the crux of it. If something messed up in the house, we can sort it out. We can change it and get a new one, whatever. But when they don't come, when they say they're going to come, and that goes on and on and on, it would drive you around the bend.
I swear to God. And see, when you work with another person, like I had to work with Frank, and I remember this girl that knew me contacted me, and her mum took sick, and she was like, I need a bed built underneath the stairs so that she can stay in a wee tiny
Harry Potter.
And my mate's going, that's fine, we'll come next Thursday, you know. And I'm thinking of the job we were doing, and I'm going, I don't know if that'll fit in. He's going, no, we'll make it fit in. And the next Wednesday, I'm looking at him and going, we're not finished yet. Yeah. And he was like, that's all right. I mean, well, you can ring her. And he went, you know her. And I went, no, you said it. And she fell out with me because she was like, I talked to him. And I went, I know. Mm-hmm. But remember, I was standing in the house going, I don't think we're going to be ready next Thursday. Yeah. And he's like, what's our big deal? And I went, the girl works. She's talked time off work.
You moved everything out. There's so much other things in play.
I says, if it happened to you, and he was just like, well, she has to wait on us. And I went, you didn't say it last week. You shouldn't have said it. Yeah. You shouldn't have.
And then it also comes in when they start something and then they take up to the next job.
Like, this girl does not talk to me anymore. And
please talk to Paddy again.
I 100% get why. Do you know what I mean? She wasn't a close friend, but she was a nice girl. She was a girlfriend of one of my friends, and I knew her. I'd been in her house for dinner and all. She was a lovely girl. Like, him and her fell out. That's nothing to do with me and her. Didn't affect. Yeah. And it's just one of them. But I know what trades is like, so I know it's hard.
It's tough, you know, and you can get ones that are brilliant. Like, I do have a core ones that have been with me from the start, and you can have ones that do 3-4 houses and are brilliant, and you're like, yes, here we go, and then something happens to them, you know, they hurt their back, their wife leaves them, like, it's all up, you know.
I worked on it. Like, what people don't understand is, see, building sites, it's just basically a continuation of school. And
because that's what they've been taught. Like, so
it's all they know, and it's so rough and rowdy. Like, my wife used to go to me, what do you mean you're starting an hour site? And I'm like, it didn't work out well. What do you mean? And I'm like, I'd see the guy I work with, he's mental, like, absolutely mental. And it didn't take much for him to trigger. And then next minute, somebody get hit, and their boss get hit, or there was a fallout, or there was an argument, and then use our way. And I used to say to him, it doesn't matter how good we are. Yeah. There's an or two good ones out there. Yeah. And building sites is like that. It's like the back in the day, like, you know, it's like Middle Ages. It's just like, there's no rights or anything. You're self-employed. You're just out there. And you're just constantly moving about, just doing. And when you do get a job and you sort of get into place, like, But it must be mad, like, dealing with them, because
mental. And I'm choosing them like from recommendations sometimes, also some recommendations from the other tradesmen because they've worked with them and they kind of know, and sometimes it's just a wing.
So there's
and
no,
friggin'
you have a
prayer.
big black book of...
I do, yeah, I have a massive black book of men's
There's
names.
some women out there be like, can I get that book?
One of them do I want to do.
No, but I'm not saying for that, I'm saying, but you, like, when I meet people and they go, oh, you're a joiner. Oh,
Brilliant.
I've given you your number.
Yeah.
Most women, because see him, he knew somebody in the barn and never turn up. And
Yes.
you know, it was like when people, oh, I know you're a joiner now. I'll use you. You know, so
Like,
that's what I mean.
Before I even came here this morning, I have sent 2 numbers of surveyors to somebody and somebody else for kitchen fitter. Like, it's just constant. And he's set up an app or something where you can just go on and find.
Do you know what? Isn't that why Checker Trade and all them were coming about? You know, it was just, and it was one of them. And it was funny when Howden's first came here. The guy from Howden's just happened. We were fitting the kitchen actually in Newton Arch, and we were hating it because we had went in to fit kitchens for a guy. So we were going in, and we were like the tail end. We were like bare minimum, and you're in, and the clients are coming in, and they're talking to you, and your heart's not in it because you're basically getting minimum wage, and you're sort of going, I'm doing this, and your man's sitting up there. And fair play to him, that's what he was doing. But Howden's, this guy, just happened, we were coming out and putting the tools in, and I was deflated, and he was like, Howden's have just arrived from England, but do all this. And I was like, what do you do? And he was like, do you know what? I have a fella, and he has like 40 houses, and he needs all the doors fitted on them. And I was like, when's he want it done? He was like, today. And I was like, we'll start tomorrow. Yeah. And the mate of mine was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm not coming to fit this kitchen tomorrow, because I know there's 20 doors to be fitted in 2 houses, and we could do them tomorrow day. Yeah. And we're going to get £50 a door. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. And I'm not doing this anymore. And me and him went and done that. And for, I would say, a good year, we were known as Howden's main doors. Okay. And we didn't work for them, but it was just anybody that came in looking doors, it was just like, this guy here's fitting them. And we were just, and I was going, and then I get fed up doing doors. I was like, hey, people think I'm just a door, like just door fitter now. I was doing my head in. But we're making really good money at it, so you're going, aye, what do you do here? And people were, and then we had a wee thing on Facebook when people was like, what's this? And they were doing, so Howden's would come to us and going, what door do you think we should do next month? And I was going, we'll see this here one. I think that one will sell really well. And if you do that as a package, and they were like, right. So they were doing like a door, handles, hinges, and fitting. And for 75 quid, it was all over, you know, because they were going, fuck, I was going to pay £70 just for the door. And we were just non-stop, and Howden's couldn't get us doors quick enough. We were just fitting, do you know what I mean? But I've got some of my good ones from just like off Facebook, random, the most random places. Yeah, you needed somebody. I need somebody because people let me down, you know. And this guy showed up. He's my tailor now, and he's brilliant. Tailor's the best one I've seen. But he showed up in his car, and I was thinking, where's his tools? And this is all. But it was from a guy who came out and hemmed and had over and sat in the toilet looking at the wall he was going to tile, and then went to get a tool and never come back again. So I'm left in a position where there's 2 showers but none with any tiles behind them. I'm living in it. There's that much work that they can't decide to, do you know what I mean? And that's the way it is at the minute, because a mate of mine who's working away, he's like, if we were working now, like, he says you'd love it because there's no, it's just, you tell people how much it is, and if they want it done or not, because there's no, they can 20 doors with no, do you know? Yeah. And it's important for them all, like, you know, work with them that the quality's good. Like, the houses are done. My houses, I want them finished like a show house. I want them absolutely perfect. And it's important. This is somebody's house. They're going to spend more money on this probably than anything in their life. People need to walk in and go, this is fun. And I want them to, because if they're paying a premium for a house that's completely all done, then it has to be perfect, and they are paying a premium. Oh, listen, you know, like one of the houses I sold, I bought it for 150, spent 25 on it, sold it for 250, so made 75 grand. And the girl that bought it was 23 and had 180k deposit. She is paying for that house to be done and perfect. She's not paying. I put all the appliances and everything in. But I would pay for that too. Yeah. Like it's not just I'll just buy out one. We have done the whole, it's the thought of me taking a roof off another house and building it out, and I'm going, and she's going, but other people's going to be doing it this time, you're not going to be living it. But in my head I know, it's my house, I'm going to be her. The thought of me doing that, whereas I show her houses that are finished, yes, and I go, look at that one, she's like, that's 600k, and I go, it's done. Done. Okay, yeah. It's done. It's done. So although you're going the pay premium, but people pay for that because they couldn't get it to that stage themselves.
Yeah, they couldn't. And then I've taken it a step further. So I stage all the houses and I offer the furniture.
You're showing
as part
exactly
of,
like
it's sexy. Do you know what I mean? Like the walk in,
it's like buying a brand new car.
Yeah, it smells great. It looks great. And there's not. I've got the location right first of all, so there's not one thing, and now everything else is right.
No, I've seen that from your videos, and that was something that I never ever thought of. But I remember back when I did go to buy rentals, and it was a guy from down south, and he went to me, look for one that's beside the train station. It depends on the size of the house. And I was like, I wouldn't even have thought of looking for that one. And he was like, look at this one. I showed me a house, and he went, you should go for that. And we didn't go for it, and he went for it.
Right.
And he still has it.
Yeah.
And it's one of his.
Still making them.
Oh, listen, that house, and now I think about it, because I was like, but people commute in London and all, they don't do it here. But like 2 professionals live in that house, and the train station's facing them, and they're straight into Belfast, and like that's why they're there. And I never. So it's all them wee factors that you don't think that people do take into consideration. Just because you came from somewhere that people don't get trains doesn't mean that other people aren't thinking like that. Because people from the country's going, do I need to own a car if I'm down there? No, I don't, because the fucking train station's directly facing. So I can pay for that house there because I'm getting the train.
100%. It's all done. It's easy for them. They're ready to move in. I want them to move in, put their toothbrush in, put their clothes in the wardrobe, and start living their life.
So what's next for Carly? Is it keeping going with the flipping, or are you thinking other things?
Other things, other property things as well. Obviously, dipping my toe in the Airbnb space as well. And just, I love all the different opportunities. Like doing this with you this morning, that's great.
Yeah.
I'd rather be doing something like that.
Yeah. Could you see you being a correspondent on BBC or UTV
I could,
for property?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So I'd love to do something like that. And I used to, years ago, I used to present a TV show for the BBC, right?
Really?
Yeah, years and years ago. Because guess what, Paddy? That's what I wanted to do.
Is that right?
But fear talked me into going into the civil service. Do you know what I mean? So I wanted to
No, it wasn't fear. It was, I want a few quid to go out partying to the weekend.
I know.
Because there's no money in like actual TV and stuff like
that. Well,
that.
then I was being told there's no money. You're already 22, so if it would have happened by now, 22, it would be about right. Also, you have to go to London if you want to do things like that. And
see, people tell you, I went to London for
nonsense.
18 months. It was a nightmare.
It's nonsense that it didn't need to be. So I would maybe like to come full circle back around and do something.
And are you thinking of doing properties away from here, or always?
No, I'm open to something. If it's going to make me money, then 100%, yeah. But I feel like I know the market here. I'm happy with what's going on here. It's a strong market.
You'd be a bit worried, like when a footballer becomes good in the local leagues, and then the bigger leagues come in and take them. I was going, is Carly going to take off and go to Dubai here? We're going to lose her to a bigger place, or somewhere like that.
Yeah, so I'm also more teaching as well for everybody else to get them involved. Like when you look at it here, there's so many houses that need that done up. You turn on Property Pal or News, whatever you want to turn on. They're all right. They're all right.
I used to buy Auto Trader every week.
Right, okay.
And I'm mad about cars.
Right.
I'm now the older I've got, I'm like about houses.
Yeah.
Like, see if somebody, like people would probably go, I have a fair idea what Paddy would look at online. They would be really shocked. Because if I put in Property Pal right now, it goes, you visit here very often.
Right, okay.
It comes up.
On the first thing.
It's literally like and I think the property here, I think people now don't just tolerate what they have. People want nice things.
Yeah.
People go, why can't I have that? Do you know, in my head it's like, why can't I have that? Why can't you have that? It's one of them ones that I think people are starting to change, and the way houses are and the way they look inside. I remember maybe when you were kids, somebody used to go, well, see his man's wee house is like a wee palace. Do you know?
Yeah. And
when I look back now, it was nice and all, but it wasn't a wee palace. It was just it just get decorated maybe once a year, and
but the conversation really needs to be had here about that and about what are you going to do. I put out a thing on Instagram about 2-3 weeks ago. I am a single girl building. Now, I'm not building a house to builders now, but I am paying for it and building and
you're
choosing
fucking
and
building
building
a house. Don't
by
be
myself,
underestimating yourself.
And I said, can somebody please tell me of somebody else, another female that's doing it by herself, not with her husband or boyfriend, or not land that's been given by dad or any all those things. Just find me somebody, because I need to speak to this woman. Tumbleweed. am I the only woman in Northern Ireland
There's the
building
call. There's
her
the call.
own house? Please tell me, because it certainly looks like it.
You're probably right. I mean, I'm trying to think of people that we done. I remember there was a guy that owned a cheese factory, and my dad was building stuff for his daughter, but he was building it for her. Do you know what I mean? But I remember like the time going, Jesus, she's really lovely. Her dad's building her out, you know.
But I'm doing doing this on my. I'm on the beach because today I was on site because the concrete's getting poured for the foundations, and I wanted to go and see what's happening. Have a wee pink one. So I'm out there this morning before I come here. I'm excited about it and want to see it, but I can't find anybody that's just doing this. Somebody said, there was a guy from here on Grand Designs, and he was doing it. You know, and I don't mean this anyway, but it's more typical maybe of a fella doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Listen,
but I cannot find.
The other thing I'll tell you too, from working in the building industry, is it's not easy for, and it's starting to change a wee bit, but for women, to deal with men. Like, I know for a fact a lot of ones that I work with, and they were like, I'm not dealing with a woman. The man may come here and deal with me. You know, like they're just, and they wouldn't have dealt with a woman, like, and it was so darky and stuff, but it was just like, Nope. Get them on here. I talk to him about it.
It's great to see.
Where's the bloke, darling?
Yeah, where's the bloke, love?
Sorry, what bloke?
Bloke we talk to.
We chat to you about football, love.
Where's the bloke?
Well, I'm the bloke.
No, come on, love. Where's the bloke?
Where's the bloke, darling?
Where's the bloke, love?
You know, because if you went in and went, well, why is that happening? Why is that? They were like, I'm not speaking to you, I'm speaking to the man. Because they want to intimidate, because it is still that environment. And how do you feel that sometimes? Is it?
Do you know what? I don't. There's a couple of places now where I've went to buy stuff that I have. And there's
2024.
I know, and I thought,
they're good fuck.
No.
So then, do you not give them the money?
No, don't give me.
I
don't give them my money, and I tell you what, I tell everybody else what I think about them.
But that's my point.
You know?
It's like. And I totally get that, because see, when you go into a place, like, see if I had to go and collect stuff for plumbers, or there was times that I would have went in and they're like, what is it you're looking for? And the guy behind the counter was like, do you not know what you want? And you're going, you're not a fucking plumber either.
Yeah.
You know, don't be fucking getting in your high horse because you're fucking hitting a few buttons here and you're going out and lifting a plastic bag of fittings. You're not fitting it either. You know the stuff, whatever, but you're not a fucking plumber either. I'm in the same boat as you. Like, you go and fucking do the job, you couldn't fucking do it, you know. But so there is that thing.
And there's been some times, especially in the last wee while, where people are like, I didn't know that, you've told me something. I think, okay, there you go, you know.
I'll tell you a cracker.
I did know something.
My wife was working for a plumber, and he had this massive job in England, and he says, I need numbers, I'm in trouble, because the builder over there was like, if you don't get more plumbers here, and he had no more plumbers, and he was like, I know Paddy's a joiner, but I will pay him massive money just to be a number over there. And he'd be fine. He's with the plumbers. He knows his way about anyway. He says, so I'm not really that worried. So she was like, right, you need to go over. And I was like, my CSR is a gold carpenter's, you know, card. Yeah. It's not even like I have a HND and stuff. And I was like, it shows everything I have, and none of it says plumbing on. I was like, right, well, we'll send over the numbers for it or something. So I get there, and the foreman, he was from Dungiven actually. And he was like, I know your face. And I was going, do you? And then me crime watch or something, you know. And he's like, right. And he's looking at me. And I went away anyway. And it was like an old people's home that was getting built in Fleet. And there was these heat exchangers in the hallway of every apartment. Uh-huh. And he went, right, plumbers, you. Here's all the apartment number. Go up, stick it on the wall and pipe it. So now all the pipes were pulled through and all for it. But I'm like, oh fuck.
Can I go home?
Oh fuck. Like, here we go, right? So I go up in this apartment and I go into the plumber and the next one, and then he went, listen, he's coming around checking, just go in and just start putting it on the wall. It's just sticking this up. Or is the instructions? So I had the instructions out and I'm reading it. And I'm like, right. And it actually wasn't that complicated because they had labelled everything. So I was like, right, okay. So I got this thing on the wall, and then I got all the fans and put them in. And I got all the pipes and connected all them. And your man came about in the afternoon and he's checking it all. And he says, who was in 218? And I went, oh, fuck. And everyone the side was pulled out, right? And they're all looking, going, oh, fuck, the game's up, right? And he went, fucking best plumber in this whole fucking site. And I went, And he went, not one of you's got the inlet and the outlet wrong on the wrong fucking side, and now we'll have to go back and change all that. And I'm just standing there going, what the fuck, right?
He just read the instructions. The rest of them probably did.
So the last job they were on was in the Hoover building, which was getting turned into apartments.
Right.
This was a slightly different model. So the inlet and the outlet was on the opposite ends, but they were just doing it. So they didn't read the instructions. Mm-hmm. Well, fuck me. See, anything went wrong on the site, your mum was, go and get Paddy the plumber. He knows his stuff, and I'm like, oh, fuck me. And what happened was, I came home after like 3-4 weeks, and about 6 months later, I got sent to a site in Brixton to be joinery foreman.
Right.
And your mum was the foreman. And he went, do you have a twin that's a plumber? And I went, no. And I says, I need to talk to you. And I took him in, and he went, fuck you. I says, I tell everybody about Paddy the plumber and our fucking good in plumber he was. And see you on the job, he's going, go up and check in plumber. And I'm like, fuck off. He used to joke, he used to go, you're a better plumber than you're a joiner. But it was fucking gag, like it was. But I thought they kept. I mean, I'm done here. Like, this is your man's gonna go. You're not a fucking plumber, and it didn't. It was just I read the instructions. The plumber's like, they're all scundered too.
But sometimes that is, you just do what you have to do. Just read the instructions and figure it out.
100%.
Go and find somebody who's doing it. Go
100%.
and speak to somebody. Put yourself out there. Send them a message. Do something to change things.
So to finish things off, anyway,
Okay.
right? What's your message to everybody? What do you want people to know or do or see, or have you anything coming up that you want people to come to?
I just want people to wake up a wee bit and realise that they can do anything they want, especially here in Northern Ireland. Don't that stop you. With the like the flipping way course that I'm doing for the under 25s, there is a method to my madness, because since I've put that out, I've had, what about over 25s? There's nothing like this. So
I was feeling a bit left out.
Yeah,
I was going, why can't I do it?
But there is a few things in the pipeline with that. So I'd like to do one for the over 60s, because I have
That's me out too.
a lot. Sorry. And then I'm coming to you, right? For the over 60s, because again, life's not over because you're like at 60. There's people coming on my course at that age, and older, and there's people who I know in my life who are starting new businesses, like in the retirement and stuff. And Colonel Saunders did
let's just say, like, see people starting, because they're all going to get fucked over with their pensions. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and also when people are in work up until retirement and they do take retirement, what do you do when you finish?
Exactly. You may as well do something like you have some energy and
what you do. Like, it's just you don't have to be hands on if you want to. You can flip these houses and other people can do the work.
No, but trust me, nobody wants to buy a house with me that I've built the wall with. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't. But so I want to do that for like older, and then I want to do like a middle age group, kind of like the flipping way for ones. All the ones sitting in the job where they're like, oh, really, is this it? Because there is something in you that if you're thinking, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. Something.
And literally, look, at 60, it could be one flip is all you need.
Could be. And some people just come to me because they just want to do one flip. One girl says to me, you made 60k, my life would be made if I had 60k in the bank. I would never do it again. And I was like, because I never thought, And I said, what do you mean? And she's like, oh, my hubby, he was in civil service, she had an admin job, and she said to know that that's sitting there, that if I needed a new appliance or fix something or go on holiday, it was sitting there. She says, I would never have another worry again. And you're not thinking that. So one day for all kinds, because it's a lot of people, different people come to me. So this is the young ones. We'll move on to the older ones, then we'll do it in the middle, people disillusioned. The in-betweeners. And then I'd like to do one for like single moms and stuff like that, because again, there's a lot of
I think that's one of the biggest things. I think that's close to your heart.
It is.
And that's why you're targeting there. Like you keep saying you're wanting to find another woman that's doing this. And I think you have that wee bit like The Martian, where your man's on Mars and he's like, there's nobody else here. Mm-hmm. And that's the way you feel. Mm-hmm. And you're sort of a bit annoyed that you feel achievement, but at the same sense you're going, why aren't you doing this, girl?
Yeah, where are they?
Do you know what is? And
there are a lot of all those categories that have come to my flipping courses, and they are killing it. They're absolutely smashing it.
I think in general women are killing it at the minute.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you could just see in politics, it's the women. They're coming to the forefront and they're killing it.
But if you think, even with what I'm doing, women buy houses. It's your missus that wants to move to that.
Listen,
Yeah.
there won't be a house bought unless it ticks all the boxes. 100%.
You know, it's that.
But the good thing about her is she knows what she wants.
Yes.
Like, I had that mentality of it'll do. The stupid thing where I'm going now, and you, because no, somebody showed you a picture in a book years ago, and you would have went, "Oh, that would be the dream, wouldn't it?"
Well,
Why not?
why is that not what you're heading
What do you mean?
towards?
Like,
Yeah.
do you know, and it's only from me being pushed to where I am now that I'm going, and I'm not fucking the king of anything. I'm still getting till certain stages and meeting wee goals. I done Electric Picnic at the weekend. It was the first time I'd done it. Didn't headline it, but I was on, like I was third from the headline, and my name was like second
Great.
biggest bold. Do you know what I mean? But to me, that was a go. Like, I just wanted, and I nearly didn't make it because it was an accident, but just getting there and doing it, and I was like, this was amazing. Like, that's just done. You know, and I send my manager all the time. I go, what about this thing?
Yeah.
What about that thing? And I think he loves that about me
Brilliant.
too, because it's not just, do you know what, get me 5 big gigs a year and I'm sorted, you know, which I know that you do get them 5 big gigs, you can be sorted, but in my head I'm going, well, I've got my visa for America, I'm going to give
Brilliant.
America a go here, and I was in Australia, sold it out, done that, but I'm going back again, and I'm going to do it bigger the next time, and I think it's in everybody.
Yeah.
It's just getting it out of you. It's just believing in yourself. It's the thing, and that's what Carly's doing. Carly's letting you know that she's living proof. It's you near enough have to bring a horse to water here and go, look, it's done. I've done it, and not only have I done it once, I can do it loads of times. And if you only want to do it once,
And I'll show you how to do it. I'll teach everything.
That's what I love about the whole thing. There's nothing hidden. It's not
tell
just
you everything.
It's not just like somebody going, look what I have. It's not like somebody that has a big expensive watch and going, I have a big watch, but not telling you how to get it. You know, it's you're and it's simple. It seems simple, and it's probably not simple. It's there's steps, but it can be done.
Yeah.
You're proof.
And for them not to be afraid of investing in themselves a wee bit of money, and whether that's for somebody like me or somebody in the industry they want to get in to be mentored by them, or somebody that's just behind you that believes you in you a wee bit and can guide you in the right direction, just do it. I've invested in myself in all different ways, but I've never regretted anything I've spent.
It's brilliant. And fair play to you. Do you know what?
Thank you.
You are leading the way, and there's a reason why I brought you on, and it's even bigger than what I thought, what I was looking at. I was bringing you on because I thought your videos were easy to watch, and it was good, it was informative, and it wasn't in your face, and I just was like, that's very wholesome, it's very Belfast and very just nice, you know. It was just seeing somebody from Belfast doing it is just, it's like probably seeing somebody from Belfast playing in the Premier League, you know, and you're in the Premier League of what you do, and fair play to you, and you're giving it back. You're like, well, here's how you do it, and it's just great. So if you have not thought about it and are thinking about it, or watch this, easy accessible, has classes, everything's there.
Send me a message.
Yes, and follow her, because I love watching the stuff, I love watching the videos, and you never know, I might do a flip myself.
I think you will. I
And
think.
what was the fella from the country say when he gets stuck in traffic coming up to a big smoke?
Don't know.
Flipping Belfast.
Flipping Belfast. Yeah, there you go.
Give it a follow.
I'll use that one.
Flipping
Thank
Belfast.
you.
But yeah, we'll put the wee link up, and folks, it was lovely having you in, Carly.
Thank you. It was
very
lovely
much.
being
It
here.
was just, it was good to get a conversation with you anyway, you know, never
Brilliant.
mind recording it. but
Loved
thank
it.
you. Thank
Loved
you.
it.
Right, folks, see you all next week.
Stumbling home on a foggy sunny